Hello and good afternoon, every folks. Guess what? There was another version of One Vision that just came out. Now, I know, I've missed a couple patches here. I kept kind of putting them as part of the One Man, One Goal, One Vision run. Sorry about that. So, let's get back to doing these normally. Alright, so there's a bunch of cool changes, one of which you actually see on screen right now. I have to say, probably my favorite change of this whole thing, like, we'll get to the whole thing. Spears on Terror Knights? Before I was putting them as a D tier, now I'd say they're a solid A tier. This may seem like a weird thing, and I know spear bias and all that, but this finally lets them create a situation where they are essentially they are what they've been trying to be this entire time, which is essentially a walking death bubble. Now granted, this particular character is super overpowered, because solo and crap like that, but seriously, heavy spear Terror Knight, basically an interesting combination of, like, you basically run them out front, Lament of the Dead onto a group, not to mention your counter 3 on there, plus have a siege going, plus potentially an augment at the same time. They are potentially throwing out like 700 damage on counters if they're hitting both units in a row. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now granted, they still have very little ways to support themselves. However, Lament of the Dead, Fear, tends to reduce attack pretty well to the point where they actually can sometimes recover more than they're actually taking. I was really impressed by trying a Palace of the Dead fight recently and just finding how they completely crushed the entire thing, where a knight, even before their nerf in this patch, actually had failed. So, really impressed by how good that particular build is. Anyway, moving on here. So, first off, in terms of general stuff, Poison got merged with Envenom, so there is now only Poison with the strength of Envenom. So as I understand, it's kind of like a 50-50 between both of them, so in some cases where it would have been Venom, it lasts longer, or something along those lines. So, it says, having 2 poison effects was a bit redundant, and if it gets changed to percentage at some point, one effect will be enough. Once again, that means some effects and items that affect one or the other were removed. Azelston will now use his recruitment skill set in the battle where you get him, so he'll join with it. I'm really glad that that got changed, because, yeah, he had some pretty weird builds before. I hope he comes with pistols and stuff now, or, like, a proper pistol sword build. We'll see. I haven't actually gone back and re-recruited him recently, so that should be fun to find. Dex, so all light weapons are a bit weaker across the board. Strength or heavy weapons have a bit higher percentage bonus. That's probably why the spear was hitting so friggin' hard, because, wow. Anyway, their damage wasn't good enough to justify the extra weight in cases where that bonus should kick in. I mean, I thought it was pretty good already, but I guess fair enough. The game does scale dex unusually high. Claws now inflict the new poison, with the duration being longer on higher level ones. Actually, out of curiosity, what does that look like? Is it any different? Is it just like Mega Venom or something? It's just poison, okay. It just says poison. Alright. Next up, random phone call coming in. Blowguns don't provide status immunities anymore and do less damage, as their status effects were strong enough to sell them. Aw. Well, I guess fair enough. It was one of those ways that you could get a multi-immunity, but oh well. That throws one strat for this run out the window. Damask Blowgun now inflicts sleep, and Hypnos inflicts fear. The latter was renamed to the Mora Blowgun. Alright, cool. Fear Blowgun potentially very useful there. Actually, wow. Shield and Fear ninjas might be pretty dang fun. Because then you just basically go, pop out a Fear dart somewhere, Sleep Bomb on another guy. That could be a really solid distraction unit. Anywho, Kieran Blowgun can now be used at level 12. Okay. So that's the healing Blowgun, by the way. Shuriken inflicts the new poison. Shield Bash can't miss anymore. We'll see if the AI goes too crazy with it. They might in some cases. I will say before, like in the end game, I was seeing a whole lot of different shield bashes going on. And, even like with this run in particular, I was seeing the AI going kind of wild with the shield bashes. Not in the recent tests since this patch, but just in general, it seemed like they were preferring the accuracy. So in the end game, maybe. We'll see. Again, this just dropped this morning, so don't know the full story behind everything there yet. Alright, next, Rune Shields have 60% chance to inflict silence, so they just turned it into a side-grade shield. Next up, Maka Anti-Venom, Vermin Ecor, and Disenchant Arcana and Viper Scrolls were removed. Wait, why were Viper Scrolls removed? Okay. Anyway, skills, Poison Ward was removed. Venom Ward now protects and removes the new poison. Okay. Classes. So Knights can't cast Exorcism anymore. The class didn't really need that addition. Very fair on that one. Actually, kind of a funny note. Wow, that's a terrible place to be when this update drops. Yeah, whoops. So, thankfully, the Terror Knight is pretty freaking strong against undead stuff, but, wow. Bad place to be for that. White Knight can't use Exorcism anymore. They still have Fervor. Yeah, Fervor would have been better in all aspects for that anyway. Terror Knight can now use two-handed spears. Solid upgrade. Again, Death Bubble setup. It's cool because it gives them a bunch of different options. If you need your heavy damage, you got your two-handers. You know, again, Lament plus two-hander. Something's dying. Laments or Terrifying Impact plus an axe. Whatever's attacking that thing next is going to kill it. Like, I was making the joke earlier. You combine Breach with Fear, that thing tries to brush its teeth, their head's going to blow off. It's pretty friggin' amazing. The Bastard Swords, I mean, I guess you could go for... well, I guess Bad Blood isn't as good anymore, because if Envenom got nerfed... because it sounds like it's poison with the standard duration. Or, sorry, poison with an extended duration, so really good for bigger fights. Less, like, again, I've been doing a whole lot of solo lately, so that's kind of like why I'm wondering about that one. So yeah, in general, it sounds like poison got improved across the board. I don't know how much it got improved yet, but we'll see. But yeah, Knights definitely didn't need Exorcism. Fervor is still pretty solid there. Two-handed spears, yeah, pretty solid on Knights on Terror Knights because it gives them that nice little control bubble. The thing is, it's not as effective. Like I would see like a Terrifying Impact Pike build would also be really strong because then you don't have to have them in front to take that extra damage. But potentially they could spread a lot of fear that way. There's a lot of new options for them, so gotta love that one. Again, never gonna say no to more spears on stuff. Paragon can cast Exorcism now, so fine. Fair enough on that. Monster damage scaling was changed a bit, so that should make them more consistent at levels 10+. I feel like... Yeah, I feel like their overall damage was actually reduced towards the endgame here, because like I said, this most recent fight that I did, they were throwing out 200 pluses before this last patch, and suddenly they were doing like 75 with the same attack. That might have been because... Actually, no, it was because they were afflicted by fear. They probably would have been doing like 120-ish. So, they're, again, more consistent. They just don't get the crazy ramp up at the end as much. Let's see, spells and abilities. Turned out that minor debuff formula was ignoring avoidance when determining spell accuracy, which sometimes caused the AI to pick the minor buff even though they could have used the major. Both will use the same formula now. Presumably that'll get rid of Lodestone getting spammed all the time. Burst 1 spells are available later, but are stronger, so they should be more useful for a bit longer until you get Burst 2. Alright, that'd be pretty cool, because yeah, Burst 1 is pretty much like, you need to finish something off, you need some kind of AoE, hopefully you brought it along kind of situation before. Corrosion inflicts the new poison, but the amount of TP removed was doubled. Okay, solid. Dispel will not remove buffs and readied skills from allies now, only from enemies, and it will instead remove a single debuff from an ally. Alright, cool. So you get both a heal and a removal. Fair enough. It was something that could save your bacon now and then, but the spell was still very situational. The AI loves to spam it, by the way. This should make it more broadly useful. I really hope it doesn't make the AI spam it even more. Because one of the poison effects was removed, we can now further condense the status removal spells as follows. Awaken will also remove Bewitch. Cleanse will remove Poison, Wither, and Curse. Bravery will remove Fear, Spendthrift, and Paranoia. Alright, fair enough. I'm still kind of a little bit unsure about Bravery on some of the units that it's on. Just because, like, Fear is one of those things that you tend to see drop off pretty quickly. I might be misremembering that. But yeah, it's a pretty strong debuff still. Draconic damage spells will not have a crush, pierce, or slash component. That means they will not be affected by those resistances anymore, but they also won't be affected by the percentage bonus on your weapons. So I believe this was This was in response to, for example, if you used a something with a big bonus, like a sword or something like that, it tended to make your draconic stuff stronger. Instead, it sounds like it'll just keep using the base attack value. And Venom was removed as the Poison Bringer effect can't be reworked to inflict the new poison on hit, and it wasn't very popular anyway. Aw, I liked it. It will be replaced by some other spell in the future. Oh, I really like that one. I mean, okay, I'm curious to see what it'll be replaced by, but yeah, Poison Spears were something that I really like to use. Distill Life and Mana TP cost was raised to 30. By the way, when I'm saying, like, you know, really liked using it, I'm curious to see what it gets replaced by. Don't take that as a please put it back or else we riot kind of thing. Anyway, Distill Life and Mana TP was raised to 30. Good, because, yeah, it was kind of a bit too cheap. So presumably regen build will not be as viable. Bullseye TP cost was raised to 30. Okay, fine. Admittedly, I haven't even used that one yet. Sneak Attack TP was lowered to 30. Good, because again, it's not super strong, so it's nice to have that availability. Meditate has a visual effect again. I hope it's the should have had a V8 once again. The skill wasn't as spammy as before, so it shouldn't be too annoying. I mean, it never was annoying. It was hilarious. They just slapped themselves in the face like, man, I should think harder. And then they did. Devour TP and RT cost was lowered to 20 to 10? Okay. Or 20 and 10, sorry. So that's for eating your pumpkins and things, I believe. Faded Circle was raised to 30. Doubt it'll make too much of a difference, but I guess you can't have it as a freebie on your second turn anymore. Covenant RT cost was lowered to 10. You know, I actually, come to think of it, I don't remember what Covenant is. I should probably look that up. Non-finisher attack abilities for weapons using classes like Wind Shot or Pumpkin Strike will now do Void, aka property-less damage, instead of Crushing, Slashing, Piercing, as it skewed the weapon choices towards strength weapons when optimizing damage. As Void ignores these resistances, the damage should be similar or better. Okay. Sounds like a plan. So anyway, that's everything with this particular one. Again, big one, or big two being that Exorcism change. So Night Nerf, Terror Knight buff. Good lord, this thing is good. Actually, one build, I will say for anyone that's looking into this. Terror Knight plus a water-augmented halberd build here. So Keldern with Water Aug and going for Charybdis. That sucker is strong, because basically Siege plus Charybdis plus Augwater, plus Fear, means that you have a situation where this guy has some serious area of control. They can, like, with the solo here, in fact, okay, pardon the music going off here for a second. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna go over here. I just want to show you, because I got some screenshots of this earlier, and it was awesome. So again, pardon the lack of music for just a moment. We're just going to keep on talking our way through this. Because, yes, CRPSP, we get it. For some reason, you can't view the screenshots particularly well within the actual thing. It's just a thing. Don't question it, it's fine. Actually, funnily enough, I saved so dang many screenshots of all of this for that solo run. That the actual chip has been bugging out lately and deleted Vagrant Story for some reason. No clue why, but apparently it will do that to try to save a save an extra thing. So suddenly there's 400 megabytes available. Anyway, so okay, that was all well and good. This was a different one. Great. Now they're all out of order because that weird glitch also caused a caused a situation where it thought the date was about a year off for whatever bizarre reason. Alright, give me a sec here. Sorry. We're going to the 2021 here. Is that it? No. Dang it. Go to 2021, please. Yeah, there might be at least a few here. I couldn't tell you why it glitched out this hard. It's just... yeah. Weird stuff that happens when you make it run stuff it shouldn't. In fact, apparently it thought it was 2022 for a while here. Can we... yeah, there we go, down to 2021. Right? Huh, that was weird. Look at that. I had sometime around, sometime in the middle of the Fire Temple, it's like, nah, you just went forward a year. I wonder if the game maybe doesn't realize... oh, maybe it doesn't recognize certain years, actually. That's weird. It's super weird. Okay, I think this should be it right here. Right? No, that was the Bear Claw one. That was this one. Why does it keep jumping between different years? That is so bizarre. Is it this one? No, it should be... Yeah, right here. 2-2. That sounds about right. There we go. So, actually, I should probably start at the fight, huh? Man, it's so awkwardly silent all of a sudden. So, alright. Here we go. So, went into the fight, wasn't expecting very much, was like, okay, 200 damage off a spear, not bad. These are going to be 3 hitting. Suddenly, got Lament of the Dead doing all kinds of work over here, suddenly knocking out multiple units at once. Suddenly, over here, got a fancy knife, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, throwing out multiple almost 300s, already pretty happy with that result. Suddenly finishing off multiple units that way. Fear over here basically reducing a lot of the... Okay, so Fear, I didn't realize this earlier, but it kind of hard counters golems. Because so much of their sheer power is the fact that they've got a seemingly high attack value. And yeah, if you remove that, they're just bouncing right the hell off. So yeah, pretty dang solid damage, plus you've still got Charybdis for big ol' AoEs, plus all of this mass slowdown goes really well with the fact that the Terror Knight is already fairly slow, so they can just kind of share their disabilities with people, so to speak. And yeah, within a few minutes, this fight that took the original pre-nerf Knight, like, an hour? Don't ask, I accidentally deleted my save file, it just... Don't question it. Anyway, yeah, this fight that took that night over an hour of slowly and methodically, exercising stuff and hitting stuff with a Varangian axe over and over. Yeah, completely dominated this thing in like 5 minutes. It's pretty great. Alright, anyway, so that's about that. Again, it's a combination of a lot of different things. This character is definitely overpowered. They're running about double the stats you normally would have. Strength got buffed. Terror Knights got buffed. Everything's looking real nice and shiny for this run right now. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Take care, and, always make sure to go thank Rakes for another patch. Alright, take care.